Hello and welcome to AJM in the AM. I'm Anthony Mero and this is episode 13. Wow, we just had the busiest Thursday in the association. The first day, scratch that, the first hours of free agency began at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. Some of the max contracts make sense. We're going to talk about the big ones here. Nikola Jokic, back-to-back MVP, playing on an injured Nuggets team, just earned 5 years, $264 million, making him the highest paid player in league history. That hits kind of hollow because recently that's been said so much due to the rising cap. This will probably be broken again on the next big contract year. Obviously a no-brainer. Jokic is only 27 years old. He doesn't turn 28 until February of next year. The dude is a walking triple-double. He has a broken basketball advanced statistics. He just averaged 27 points, almost 14 boards and 8 assists while playing 74 games. If anyone deserves this money, it's Jokic, and the Nuggets know what they have in him, so a phenomenal, no-brainer decision. In a bit of a head-scratching move, Bradley Beal stays with the Wizards for 5 years, $251 million. I thought he would actually leave to potentially win, but wow. I just don't get his decision to want to stay there for winning. I completely get the Wizards wanting to ink him. He's one of the very few star players in the league, and they have a lot of trouble bringing them in. I believe the last star they signed outside of Washington was Gilbert Arenas in 2003, so the drought outside of draftees is real. I hate seeing Beal potentially waste away in Washington playing mostly meaningless basketball, but I do appreciate the loyalty. It's very rare in today's game. I also appreciate the Wiz actually making moves to kind of improve the roster. Along with this Supermax deal, they traded away KCP and Ish Smith to Denver for Monte Morris and Will Barton, so they did add some depth and some solid talent. It is a weird move for Beal, a good move for Washington. Maybe they can be motivated to make moves to continue to improve this roster. Next up, we have Devin Booker, who is re-upped in Phoenix for the Supermax extension, 4 years, $214 million. Another absolute no-brainer. The Suns have been a powerhouse in the West in each of the last 2 seasons. Now, this is a bit of a mind-blowing number. Booker has been in the league for a long time, 7 seasons now since 2015. He turns 26 in October. Let that sink in. He only turns 26 in October. Booker has been very good, especially recently playing alongside Chris Paul and under Monty Williams. So maintaining that core with still room to grow between Bridges and Booker getting better, this makes a ton of sense for both parties involved. Even if the Suns lose Ayton, the Suns will still be a top team in the West with whoever they find to replace the big fella. Before I touch on the next Supermaxes, if you like the content, please hit that subscribe button and like the video. It really helps the channel a lot. Let's talk about the rookie deals becoming maxes. Those rookie deals, Ja Morant and Zion Williamson are both gonna grow up. They get their rookie super maxes, 5 years, $231 million each, potentially. Ja's makes sense. The Grizz have been in the mix for a playoff spot since his rookie season, making the playoffs in each of the last 2 years as well, even making some noise this year as one of the best teams in the NBA. Zion, on the other hand, has been hurt a lot through his first few seasons, playing only 85 games since being drafted. But when he plays, he is such a dominant force, shooting 61% from the field in 2021 and averaged 27 points and 7 boards, mostly on athleticism alone. With his own improvement and the rise in talent surrounding him in New Orleans, he should thrive even more if he can stay on the court. The last signing I'll touch on is Jalen Brunson to the Knicks for 4 years, $104 million, mostly because this feels like an overpay for potential rather than paying for what you will get. We touched on Brunson on Monday. He's a fine player, and he had a sensational playoff performance, especially against Utah, taking a 2-1 lead without Luka. There's a reason no other team wanted to give him a 4-year, $104 million contract though, aside from the Knicks, who now find themselves in the unfortunate financial situation of having both Brunson and Randle on 4 years, $221 million combined based on what they could be. While it's also being rumored now that RJ Barrett wants his rookie max extension for as much as $35 million this season. That would be a ton of money tied to players that have one combined All-Star appearance, although Brunson and RJ could both grow to become very fine players. There were other maxes and many other moves that happened too, but too many for one episode. Karl Anthony Towns and Zach LaVine both got the max extension from their respective teams. PJ Tucker got the bag to go to Philly. Victor Oladipo got a solid prove-it deal to stay in Miami. Anthony Simons got tied to Portland for another expensive undersized guard combo. Breaks my heart. But the bigger news is Kevin Durant asking for a trade, and I'll have an entire episode for this on Monday for more depth about trade requests, player empowerment gone wrong, and the potential ramifications of all of these superstars asking for trades in the next CBA. But quickly, Kevin Durant is locked in for a 4-year deal with no player option that starts this season. There are so many possibilities for where he can go, but he is linked right now to the Heat and the Suns. Any deal that's going to be made is going to be very hard right now because the Nets actually have all the leverage. But Kevin Durant requested a trade. How do the Nets have the leverage? Because Kevin Durant is signed up for 4 years. He is tied to them, and with that kind of a contract, any team will still trade for it, as is evidenced by over half the league blowing up the Brooklyn front office phones for the potential KD trade. If I'm the Nets, I don't move him. I know I have Kyrie for at least this year. I have Ben Simmons. I don't know what he'll be, but we still have him. And you just traded a first rounder for Royce O'Neal. KD, you're playing this year. We're going to run it one more time, and maybe if it all works out, you'll want to stay. Teams keep folding to player trade demands. There's always the option to just keep the player, play the year to try to win, or until a phenomenal offer comes through the door, then you move him. But yesterday was crazy with all this free agency news popping up all over the place, player movement, trades, max deals being flipped like hotcakes, and this is why I love the NBA. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it every time, and I will catch you on Monday.